Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. And it's great to have you with us on this beautiful evening in America. An early happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you out there who join us each and every night on the Great America Show. We're truly grateful to each and every one of you. There are some of you out there who never miss a show, and trust me, I see everything. I read everything, the comments, the reviews, the everything. I read it all. I respond to as much as I possibly can. So in the year, in the time of giving thanks, I'm thankful to each and every single one of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, who tune in every night and make this show possible and allow me to come out here and have some fun with you guys. As I always say, this is our show. This isn't my show, so I truly appreciate it. I also want to thank all the kind words and messages I've been getting about my 90-pound furry son, Donald, the golden retriever. He seems to be on the mend, so please keep up the prayers. I'm forever thankful for that as well. Tonight, folks, we begin with some somber news out of Washington, D.C. What looked like to be a good morning for politics, as some good news for President Trump, which we're going to get to in just a few moments. I want to begin with some somber news because the Democrats, folks, have blood on their hands, and I just don't know when enough is going to be enough. When will they tone it down? When will the rhetoric stop? When will they stop terrorizing our members of law enforcement, our members of the military? When will they stop terrorizing this country? It's a question I ask myself every day. And each day that goes by and something worse happens, I think that maybe it's time they're going to stop. And then I turn to Twitter and I'll see Chuck Schumer put out some bullshit statement that there's no room for violence in this country. As 10 minutes before that, he was on national television calling for violence against President Trump, violence against anyone who disbelieves the shit that he's selling, anyone who doesn't, who subscribes to MAGA, to America First, anyone who subscribes to anything President Trump does deserves violence to them, according to Chuck Schumer. But then they have the nerve to come out here and say there's no room for political violence in this country. They're liars. So earlier today, 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen who were deployed to the nation's capital were shot just blocks from the White House in a brazen act of violence. FBI Director Kash Patel and Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser said the Guards members were hospitalized in critical condition. Bowser said that these 2 gentlemen were victims of a targeted shooting. Now, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey initially said that the troops had died, but later walked back the statement to say his office was, quote, receiving conflicting reports about their condition. The governor's office did not immediately respond to questions about the attack and the condition of these troops, but as we know right now, knock on wood and praying to God, they're still alive and battling and will pull through. Now, a suspect was taken into custody. He was also shot and had wounds that are not believed to be life-threatening, according to law enforcement officials who spoke to the AP about the matter. Now, right after this happened, now we don't have the name of this person who committed these heinous acts. We do believe it's a male. I have my reservations about what kind of person this was, but I'm going to hold them back out of respect for these 2 guardsmen and pray and hope that they pull through this just absolute disgusting act a day before Thanksgiving, as we enter the happiest time of the year. Thanksgiving to Christmas, we give thanks and praise, and Christmas is celebrating the birth of Jesus. And people are so heinous, have so much hate and anger in their blood, that you go out and take shots to kill 2 innocent men who are doing their job, who are protecting this country, who are protecting you. And you have the gall to go out and try to hurt and harm these people. The amount of hate that has gone into society right now, and there's nobody else to blame. We're going to be very honest about it here, folks. There's nobody else to blame but the Democrats. They are the ones who have stoked fear and anger and hatred in people's blood. You look at these heinous acts that have happened over the course of the last 2 years, and they're all Democrats. Because of people like Chuck Schumer, Elisa Slotkin, You want to hear Alyssa Slotkin, Senator Slotkin, just a few days ago on national television saying that our military, our law enforcement, were moments away, days away from shooting and killing somebody out of sheer reaction. Take a listen.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens.
Are you kidding me? I'm going to keep my cool, folks, and reserve what I really want to say, but that's what we're up against. That's what this republic is up against. That's what our members of the military are up against. That's what our members of law enforcement are up against. And it's nothing new, because for 4 years under Joe Biden, these folks had targets on their backs. They were not respected. They are not respected. And I'm not saying this by me. I respect these people more than anybody. And I'm sure you guys do out there as well. But the Democrats don't respect them, and they use them as political pawns. So you hear this lowlife scum, Alyssa Slotkin, senator. She's scum. Go out there and spew that rhetoric on television. And then just days later, 2 of our guardsmen are shot, hanging on for their lives right now, a day before Thanksgiving. People who have families to go home to, a day before Thanksgiving. Yet these are the same people who will go on social media. I'm sorry, folks, my blood is boiling tonight. The same people who will go on social media and say the same talking point, that there's no room for violence in this country. And while they're saying that out of the front of their mouth, out their rear end is coming violence, perpetrating upon these men and women who serve our country honorably and make peanuts for it. You go look at how much these members of the military make. It's peanuts compared to some other civilian jobs. Peanuts. Barely enough money to raise a family. But they do it selflessly to protect us so that we can walk the streets safely, that we can go out into society safely, because of shithole cities run by Democrats that have ruined them and made them dangerous. To simply walk outside with your child and take them to a playground. You look at what happened in Chicago just a few days ago. A 26-year-old girl lit on fire by a man with 72 priors. The man served less than 2 years in jail for. Now, I know the Republican Party is not perfect, folks. And I come out here and I rail against them every single night, because I can move the needle on that. I can make some changes where they're listening to me. The Democrats I've written off. They're evil, evil people. But the Republicans have their flaws. Make no mistake about it. But to their flaws, they do support our law enforcement overwhelmingly. So when you go out and vote in these midterm elections, I know they're far away. Please remind yourself, remind your loved ones who may be Democrats, what we're up against. Truth, justice, and the American way. The safety and sovereignty of our country for our children. I have no children, but a lot of my friends do. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. We need to take this country back from these people, because what we saw today is only going to happen more and only going to get worse under the control of the Democrats. These people have no tact, they have no decorum, and they have no plan to protect this country, which is why President Trump has had to send in the National Guard and had to send in the military. to these blue-run cities. 99% of them. Notice, he hasn't sent in the Guard anywhere in Florida. Not one place in Florida. Why? Texas? How about Texas? I mean, you go up and down the board of any of these red-run states, and they have it under control. Now, not every red state has the best cities in it. Some of them are crime-ridden, but they take care of it. But you look at these places where President Trump has had to send in the Guard and the military, and I say, screw sending in the Guard. Send in the active military with machine guns. Because that's what it's come to. That's what it's come to now in this country. To protect our people. I mean, where is our right to... Democrats always want to talk about rights. Illegals have a right to this. Illegals have a right to that. Healthcare, housing, federal housing, subsidies, SNAP. Where is our right as American citizens to live in a free and fair and non-crime-ridden society? Where is our right to be able to walk out of a house, an apartment, with your child and take them to the playground in Chicago and not have to worry about stray bullets coming past your head? Is that not a right of Americans? If it's not a right as an American, how about a right as a taxpayer? Utter disgust, folks. I am furious tonight. And I think as Americans, we all should be right now. Because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And we've got to stop this. Folks, I want to take a quick break here and take a second to cool off. We're live tonight, so I appreciate each and every single one of you guys tuning in. I wanted to do a live show for Thanksgiving to give you guys some question time and all that good stuff. Shout out to G-Wi-Fi, always tuning in. Kelly Song, we appreciate you tuning in. The dog is on the mend, so please keep the prayers up. We're hoping he's going to pull through. Fall Girl, always a pleasure to have you. Strafer, thanks so much for tuning in, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. Lana, appreciate you tuning in over on Facebook. We're going to get to more of your shout outs, folks. Let us know where you're tuned in from. Let us know where you're joining from. And we're taking a quick break here, folks. We're going to be back in less than 60 seconds. There's so much more to get to, man. I am fired up tonight. And I'm glad I'm here on a live show tonight so we can interact with the audience. We'll be right back, folks. Please stay with us.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98. Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Thanks everybody for staying with us here on the Great America Show. We're live, so let us know where you're tuned in from. Let us know where you're joining from. We appreciate it always, and an early happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to all you folks. If you missed it at the top of the show, I appreciate every single one of you guys who tune into the show, and a lot of you guys tune in every single night, and we see it. And I truly appreciate it because it allows me to come out here and spread the news to you guys. And I say it all the time. It's not my show. This is our show. So I'm truly thankful and blessed that each and every single one of you guys, for everyone, a single one of you guys to tune in every night to the Great America Show. So let's get back to some news and this disgusting story out of Washington, D.C. today. A tragedy. And we're praying it's not a tragedy. We're praying these two members of the Guard recover. The Trump administration has quickly ordered 500 more National Guard members to Washington, D.C. following this shooting. Pete Hegseth says he's already on it. There are currently 2,200 troops assigned to the Joint Task Force operating in Washington, D.C. Law enforcement is reviewing the surveillance video from the scene that they believe the suspect approached the soldier and pulled the gun. We'll see what happens. At least one of the soldiers exchanged gunfire with the shooter. Investigators are trying to determine the gunman's motive, including whether the suspect was targeting the troops for any specific reason. We'll have to ask the Democrats about that once we find out just who the shooter was, who he was, where he hailed from. I think we're probably not going to be surprised to find out the background of this person and what their political party was. It's a carbon copy each and every single time. Kash Patel was on the scene just moments after it happened and had some words to say about how we're now going to proceed.
Where two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA. And we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because this is a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made.
And we're keeping them folks in our prayers tonight. Please, I ask you to keep them in your prayers from the heinous acts. Now, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, had some words to say too. Let's take a listen and see what Secretary Hegseth had to say. Another man who's just been great to our troops and great to our military and our service members.
Myself and my team were notified that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America. Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met, because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not, because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen. That will only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army, to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong. And so we're following this very closely. We're getting information rapidly. I mentioned the faith of this country, the Christian faith, the prayers. I would ask for prayers for our National Guardsmen.
Excuse me, Mr. Preach.
Appeals to heaven for our National Guardsmen, for their families, on bended knee as a War Department, as a nation.
Excuse me.
We will never back down.
Excuse
Know anything
me.
about them right now.
Venezuela.
We had a couple of great, productive meetings with the President and Minister of Defense here, where we are dedicated to the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington, D.C., or it's...
We'll cut it off there. But Secretary Hegseth, great to see, you have a Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, whatever you want to call him, who cares about our members of the military, who cares about our folks. Because for the last 4 years under Joe Biden, these people were disrespected. And it's all a result. I mean, everything, you could see. We got some video right now of those 2 guardsmen being transported. U.S. Park Police airlifting those great patriots out to the hospital. And like I said, critical condition tonight. We're praying for them. We want them to make a full recovery because there's no better karma than for that coward who shot them to look them in the eyes alive and well. Disgusting. Now, President Trump offering this statement shortly after the gunman unleashed havoc on them. Quote, "The animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen were both critically wounded, now in 2 separate hospitals, is severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States, and everyone associated with the office of presidency, am with you." That's a president for you, folks. That's a man who stands behind his people. That's a man who stands proud behind his people in the military. And that's what we need right now, folks. We need a commander-in-chief, which we haven't had for a very long time. I want to take one more quick break here, folks. We're going to get to your shout-outs. We're going to get to all that good stuff. We're going to get to some more news. We're going to get to some good news for President Trump today. I want to talk a little bit about Marjorie Taylor Greene because she is absolutely off the rails. I don't know what's going on with her, but I think she's days away from having to be checked into some sort of institution because of how nuts she's going. We're taking one more quick break here, folks. We're coming right back in less than 60 seconds. Don't turn that dial, please. We'll be right back.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all 3.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us, and happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you and your families. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, folks, can't thank you guys enough for allowing me to come out here and do this amazingly fun job and have a great time doing it. Someone who's not having a great time right now in life is Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who pretty much secured her own destiny to no thanks of anybody but herself. So earlier today, a man by the name of Cernovich tweets out a message to her and says, "You need to serve out your full term." I mean, she ran to be elected to serve a full term in Congress, right? That's what she told the people she was going to do. Now, in order in a way to stab President Trump in the back and screw Mike Johnson, you resign early, so you give you leave an empty seat in a already slim majority. So Marjorie responds with this. Now, this man didn't use any profanity, nothing. Just says serve out your full term. It's what you were elected to do. Your responsibility, Marge. And she says, "Oh, I haven't suffered enough for you while you post all day behind a screen? Do I have to stay until I'm assassinated like our friend Charlie Kirk? Will that be good enough for you then? Shit posting on the internet all day isn't fighting. Get off your ass and run for Congress. I fought harder than anyone in the real arena, not social media. Put down your little pebbles and put your money where your mouth is. She then goes on to tweet from her professional account, quote, typical of Republican men telling a woman to, quote, shut up and get back in the kitchen and fix me something to eat. F you and your sweetest, most southern drawl I can emulate. I haven't been trying to tell you all that all men that our kitchen pantry is empty with spider webs and our house has been ransacked, the windows and the doors broken and busted, and the greedy rich bastards have twisted your mind into a sick state. Oh, you continue into a two-party toxic political system that acts like a college football playoff, yet is burying you and your children and their children and their children in a pine box in a shallow grave. Get off your ass and fix our damn food and clean up the kitchen while you're done. What's up with her? I mean, who pissed her off? He then replies, this doesn't make any sense. I've always defended you against the insider trading lies, promoted you aggressively when you were getting started, and I've never come close to insulting you. You signed up for a full term. It'd be sexiest for a person to not expect you to fulfill it. That's a woman who's lost her mind, folks. This is a woman who has lost her mind. There's no other way to put it. I mean, that is absolutely insane. The man literally said, just serve out your full term. It's what you were voted to do. Why not do it? If you say you're going to, Lou Dobbs always used to tell me, he'd yell at me, mean what you say and say what you mean and mean what you say. You go to Congress, you run for Congress, you ask people to donate millions of dollars to your campaign. The least you can do is keep your word and serve their constituency. Is that too much to ask for? I certainly don't think so. A big day for President Trump, folks. I don't know if you guys heard in the midst of all the news going on, but the new Georgia prosecutor who was chosen to replace big old Fani Willis in her lawfare RICO case against President Trump has dropped the case. On August of 23, Fani Willis indicted President Trump and 18 co-defendants for daring to challenge the 2020 election. Willis hit President Trump and the co-defendants with RICO and other charges. Everyone knows RICO it's the hardest thing to prove. RICO was created for the mob and the mafia, for them conspiring to commit, different kinds of criminal acts, prostitution, gambling rings, racketeer, whatever it is. Yet they hit President Trump with this. I mean, she's an idiot. Nathan Wade was paid more than $600,000 as a special prosecutor while he was whining and dining Fani and paying for lavish vacations for them. Sounds like money laundering to me. Now, last year, after a fierce court battle, Fani Willis and her entire office were disqualified from persecuting and prosecuting President Trump in their lawfare RICO case. The appeals court did not throw out the charges. However, Fani Willis and her office, quote, had no authority to proceed. The Georgia appeals court disqualified Fani because of an appearance of impropriety. Now, she had an illicit affair reportedly with Nathan Wade, the top prosecutor, who she hired to hunt down Trump in the RICO conspiracy case. Last month, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, gave the prosecuting attorneys 14 days to assign a new prosecutor to Fani Willis's case against Trump, or he will dismiss the case without prejudice. Just hours before the deadline to appoint a new prosecutor, the executive director of Georgia's prosecuting attorney council entered an appearance as district attorney pro tempore. The executive director entered this case, and on Wednesday, he dropped the case against President Trump. He said the state of Georgia is not appropriate venue for this case. Isn't that nice, folks? So the case against President Trump, the lawfare against President Trump in the great state of Georgia, has officially come to an end. The federal cases, I believe, are all done and all wrapped up. So President Trump is a free man, a free and clear man. Although there was a ruling against him today, I just briefly read through it, that he's got to pay $1 million. Him and Alina Habba have to pay $1 million to the courts for frivolous lawsuits against James Comey and Hillary Clinton in Florida. Imagine that. Now, if you guys followed the 2020 election, which we're going to start talking about a lot more on the show, I have to. tell you guys. We've got some good guests coming up in the next few weeks to talk about it. But if you guys followed the 2020 election, you would remember a girl named Jenna Ellis. She was allegedly an attorney for President Trump representing him. Now, you got to remember, at the time when President Trump had all these attorneys, it was hard to get anyone to represent him because they thought it was toxic. They would never get a job again. It's, understandable. It's what the Democrats have turned society into. They've turned anyone against President Trump. So there's this woman, Jenna Ellis, who I think was like a traffic ticket attorney in Colorado, and was actually even fired from her job because of how terrible she was, like just a horrible attorney. I call her a fake ass attorney on Twitter. I'm having fun with her. I never liked this woman. I got to be totally honest. When we had her on the show on Fox News on Lou's show, never liked her. Had dinner with her numerous times, never liked her. Sat at tables with her at gala, never liked her. Thought she was a total phony, a fraud, and whatever. So earlier this year, when the Georgia case was going forward, they were offering up plea deals. Anyone who wanted to flip and say some bad things about President Trump, they dropped the charges against you. And you just had to go in front of the judge and apologize, maybe shed a few crocodile tears. Well, Jenna Ellis, who, by the way, President Trump just recently pardoned, I would have told her to go to hell, went before the court, let out some tears, and had this to say. And take a listen to the blame game. It's just hysterical.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the opportunity to address the court. As an attorney who is also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously, and I endeavor to be a person of sound moral and ethical character in all of my dealings. In the wake of the 2020 presidential election, I believed that challenging the results on behalf of President Trump should be pursued in a just and legal way. I endeavored to represent my client to the best of my ability. I relied on others, including lawyers with many more years of experience than I, to provide me with true and reliable information, especially since my role involved speaking to the media and to legislators in various states. What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true.
Alleged.
In the frenetic pace of attempting to raise challenges to the election in several states, including Georgia, I failed to do my due diligence. I believe in and I value election integrity. If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse. For those failures of mine, Your Honor, I have taken responsibility already before the Colorado bar who censured me, and I now take responsibility before this court and apologize to the people.
Folks, if you hired a lawyer, you want your lawyer going into a courtroom and kicking down the damn door. Who in their right mind, and now President Trump knows, so you can't even blame him, but who would ever hire this woman to represent them? Usually as the defendant in the case in a courtroom, when you're in trouble, you're the one crying. Imagine such a weak-minded lawyer who goes into a courtroom, tears ablazing. So this idiot, Jenna Ellis, pled guilty to a crime she didn't even commit. She walked into a courtroom in Fulton County, said she engaged in criminal activity that she didn't even do. And this woman's an attorney. I don't think she'll ever practice law another day in their life for anybody who sees these videos of her. Can you imagine that? I think it's just reprehensible and embarrassing. And I just wanted to share that, folks, with you folks, because we wanted to end the show on a light note today. But before we end the show, I want to get to we're going to hit through most of them if we can, because you guys deserve it for staying in. Good afternoon, Patriots from beautiful San Diego, G Wi-Fi. We appreciate you tuning in always. Kelly Song. Good evening, John. How is your dog feeling today? If you missed it, he's on the mend. So please, prayers keep coming. Please, please, please. Fall Girl, hello, Patriots. Wishing everyone a blessed Thanksgiving. Strafer, thanks always for tuning in. We appreciate it. Lana over on Facebook. Unfortunately, we haven't even begun to see the hatred from the Democrats and what they have for this country. They've imported all the legals and sent them where they could be trained. It's going to be a really rough ride for this nation. Yeah, I keep saying it. It's going to get worse before it gets better, for sure, especially with governors like Pritzker and Kathy Hochul in New York. The shooter deserves to be dragged behind a National Guard vehicle through the streets of Washington, D.C. on fire. He does deserve his karma. That is 150% true. Let's see. What do we got here? The same ones lecturing you about democracy while trampling it straight for. Yeah, that's what the Democrats do. That's exactly what the Democrats do. Rob on Facebook, she should be held accountable for her rhetoric, as all of them should. And when President Trump said it, they went after him and said he was trying to lock up his political rivals. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Prayers for the guards from Oz. Yes, prayers for these great Americans. We have to keep them in our prayers. Fall girl, I'm so sick about this too. We all are. Karen, she's a liberal pig. That she absolutely is. She's a disgust, a disgrace. Jan is praying for the one shot. We all are. They make up fake rights while denying those granted by our creators. You're absolutely right, like the rights for your illegal health care and schooling. Denise praying for our law enforcement. We should do that each and every single day. Patricia praying for our country and the servicemen who are gunned down for no reason in the world. God be with the family during this crazy time. It's supposed to be the happiest time of the year, folks. Patricia from Ohio, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thanks, Kelly. We appreciate the dog. We've got Debbie from Albany, New York. Shout out to New York. You're in the safe part. I'm in the city. Fall girl, we appreciate you, John. I appreciate you guys too, and I appreciate you tuning in each and every single night. Truly, truly a blessing. God bless these two National Guardsmen. I pray for a complete recovery. Yes, sir. Amen, Cash. We're praying for those men. Spend your weekend in prayer with family on a range hanging in the skills of your family. Yes, this is definitely a weekend you spend with your family and your loved ones. W. Dave, enjoying the show from South Jersey down the shore. Shout out to the Jersey Shore. I spent a decent amount of time there in the summer. We love the Jersey Shore. Me and Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen, we spent a decent amount of time. He's got a house down there. So during the summer, we'll spend some time together, and we'll hit a few breweries and catch up every few weeks. And then we usually need a few weeks because we're both old as heck to recover from how much we drank that weekend. So we love it. Fall girl, I am in Western New York. Shout out to Western New York. One of my first jobs was from a congressman from Western New York, Congressman Chris Collins, who was indicted, one of the members of Congress indicted under President Trump, one of the first members of Congress to endorse President Trump. And, of course, he was indicted. Carolyn, look at all the destruction and murder these Democrats have caused. Yeah, we have to make no mistake about it. These people have blood on their hands. 100%. Now abolish the Democrat Communist Party in the United States. We don't want to pay our tax dollars for a party to double-cross our country and say death to America. That's pretty much what they do. It's pretty much what they do. Jim, it's way overdue to take Democrats to an awakening of you get what you give, and they deserve a lot of revenge giving. I'm a firm believer, Jim, in karma. I can't tell you how many instances I've personally had in my life where people have done me wrong, and I've just let it go. And then months later, someone will call me and tell me, did you see what happened to so-and-so? Did you hear what happened to them? And I've watched karma work in more ways than one. And I'm a firm believer that good things happen to good people, and that's that. So karma always finds a way to work itself. MTG is getting for her new job on The View. Yeah, I think she's seconds from becoming a Democrat. MTG, sad to see this. Yeah, I got to be honest with you guys. Back in 2023, Lou Dobbs called it. He saw her taking a turn. He saw what was happening to her, and he said this was going to happen. I wish he was still alive. I miss him every single day. Guy was right about everything. He didn't say anything about women should not be in office. You're referring to Cernovich. Yeah, it's she's losing her mind. She's absolutely losing her dang mind. Fani and Wade will be having Thanksgiving in a cabin in the mountains again, probably. Probably. Oh, man. What do we got here? Sorry, folks. I got terrible vision. I'm trying to see them here on the screen. Arrest, convict, and send to prison any Democrat communist that opens their mouths to speak. That's the that's the light, the way that we're headed down, folks. These Democrats have caused so much destruction. Love and light to each and every one of you this Thanksgiving, W. Dave. We appreciate you. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. I try to say it every day, but if I forget, I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. I appreciate your prayers for my golden, who's sitting right next to me here in my studio right now. But I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. So I hope you all have a great weekend, a nice long weekend with your family, with your loved ones. Spend your time. You never know, folks. I just got back from Florida Sunday after a 2-week trip for work and picked my dog up, and I'm told that he may have days to weeks to months to live. So you never know when it's it. You never know when our time is coming, when a loved one's time is coming. Things happen and God works in mysterious ways. So, in this holiday weekend, this holiday season, spend as much time with your loved ones as you can. Tell them you love them. Tell them you love them again, because we never know when it's the last day. And like with Lou Dobbs, I had no idea his time was here. I was told with 2 days to go. So it's treat every day like it's your last. And I'm not, being a pessimist, but treat every day like it's your last day alive. And live it. Live a life. Enjoy your life you live. And have fun in it, and tell your loved ones you love them extra, because like I said, you never know when it's the end. I'm not saying it's the end, but you never know, and you want to be prepared and have no regrets. So use this weekend, folks, Thanksgiving, to give thanks to everyone surrounded, your loved ones surrounded you, your family, your friends, your favorite politicians, and let them know how thankful you are for them. That's it for us tonight, folks. I think we'll see you back here Friday for Black Friday. Maybe we can get some My Pillow sales on Friday for Black Friday, as if the sales aren't good enough already. We'll see you back here Friday, folks, for the Great America Show. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be safe. Don't eat too much. Words to live by. But we'll see you back here, I think, Friday for the Great America Show, folks. Until then, may God bless you. May God bless America. And may God bless the great Lou Dobbs, folks. We'll see you back here. Have a great Thanksgiving.